Here's your news for July 14, 2020. And your headlines for today are: reason why Bianca Belair returned to WWE Raw this week, unsanctioned match added to WWE Raw next week, real reason why Kevin Owens confronted Vince McMahon revealed, WWE Hall of Famer arrested, several WWE stars will become free agents this week, released WWE superstar drops an insane video, AJ drops a bombshell of a statement about his retirement, WWE Hall of Famer wants to make an in-ring return, Bobby Lashley challenges Braun Strowman to WWE Universal title match, WWE reportedly concerned about one particular wrestler, Brock Lesnar was never factored into WWE Summerslam plans, and more. We're kicking off with news from Monday Night Raw as Shayna Baszler made her return this week in impressive fashion. During a segment over the 24/7 title between R-Truth and Akira Tozawa, the Queen of Spades made her return, demolishing Tozawa's ninjas before turning her attention to their leader, who left quickly. After R-Truth also escaped a possible beatdown, Baszler called out what she sees as weak-minded champions, and though she didn't call anyone out by name, made it abundantly clear that she's still around. We previously reported that the former NXT Women's Champion has been out of action because Vince McMahon wasn't approving any ideas pitched for her, but now it looks like something got the green light from the chairman of the board. Speaking of returns, Bianca Belair also appeared on Raw this week and teamed with Ruby Riott to defeat the Iconics. Though Belair originally debuted on Raw following WrestleMania, she was barely used and reportedly didn't work into the angle between the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. According to Ringside News, the EST of WWE will be gone from TV soon, as they wrote, "It was great to have Bianca Belair back on Raw, but we've been told it's not a long-term thing. She's a placeholder until Liv Morgan can return. It would be nice if WWE could figure out how to use the EST. Morgan hasn't been seen on WWE TV for the past couple of weeks, though it's unclear why she's been gone, and we're also unsure when she'll return." Whilst Belair may have looked impressive this week and even got the win for her team, it looks like the company still doesn't know what to do with the former NXT superstar. Now, it wasn't too long ago that WWE's crowd were banned from wearing masks, but that all changed when an anonymous superstar spoke to Vince McMahon. During a French-language podcast hosted by Pat LaPrade, it was reported that it was Kevin Owens who raised concerns during the July 3rd tapings, with the prizefighter saying he was uncomfortable with the lack of masks worn backstage and people ignoring social distancing. This led to McMahon asking Owens himself what they should be doing, and now the company has taken measures, as they now don't record Raw and SmackDown on the same day, keeping the number of people at the center down. In his absence, the company started fining caught staff without a mask $500 for their first offense and $1,000 for subsequent offenses, an idea that KO claimed came from him, and Owens returned a few weeks later to see people taking the situation more seriously. Given that Owens' grandfather recently passed due to the current situation, it's no wonder why the former Universal Champion has taken this personally, and fans have him to thank for the company being a lot more protective. We've got some unfortunate news next, as former WWE personality Tammy Sytch is, once again, back in jail. The original diva is being charged with driving with a suspended license, eluding police, and being in violation of a domestic violence restraining order, and is being processed into the Monmouth County Correctional Institution, according to PW Insider. Fans will know that this isn't Sunny's first brush with the law, as she was released in February after being in prison for violating her previous parole, which was due to a guilty plea for drunk driving, missing drug tests, and not reporting to her parole officer. It's sad to see that someone who was once the top woman in wrestling has fallen so low, and we can only continue to hope that Sunny is one day able to turn her life around. We're focusing on WWE's releases next, as this week, everyone released by the company on April 15th will become a free agent. Due to the ongoing situation, the company decided to cut dozens of staff members, despite the company being projected to have their most profitable year yet. NXT superstars who were released have already had their non-compete clause expire, whilst main roster releases will be free to go where they want starting tomorrow. Impact Wrestling have teased the possibility of several WWE stars joining the company, with a former world champion being teased for this Saturday's Slammiversary, and it's been reported that Gallows and Anderson have already signed with Impact. With so many names gone from WWE, it'll be interesting to see who goes where, and hopefully we'll get some information by the end of this week. One name who's been teased by Impact is EC3, who's been teasing fans himself about where he'll be going next. On Instagram, the 1%er released a compilation of all his promo videos where he's hinted at his future in wrestling, and asked his over 300,000 followers which narrative they'd like to see him control. The former 24/7 and Impact World Champion also got plenty of attention in his caption, as he mentioned plenty of possible places for him to go, including Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW, and NXT, though not WWE's official account. Recently, an episode of Impact ended with EC3's theme song being played, and whilst it seems likely that's where he'll be heading, nothing is for certain right now. Back to WWE, and we're focusing on AJ Styles as the reigning Intercontinental Champion has discussed the end of his career. Speaking to Vincent Beltran of Vibe and Wrestling, the Phenomenal One said that he thinks he has more left in the tank, but admitted that sometimes what he wants to do and what he can do are two separate things. He said, "I'm gonna do this as long as my body and my mind allow it. Many times my body and my mind argue with each other because my head tells me I can do it, and my body tells me not even to try." The 42-year-old SmackDown star compared his own situation to The Undertaker, adding that much like the dead man, he too has had to think about when is the right time for him to leave the ring for good. Given that he signed a new contract last year, this end probably won't be anytime soon, and fans can look forward to seeing Styles defend his gold against Matt Riddle this Friday. From one champion to another, as Universal Champion Braun Strowman recently celebrated 100 days with the gold, but has also received an interesting challenge from Raw's Bobby Lashley. When the WWE Twitter shared footage from the pair's infamous match from the July 1st, 2019 Raw, which saw the contest end in explosions, Strowman said it was one of the most physical matches he'd ever been a part of. Lashley responded by saying he'd love to have another shot at Strowman, this time with the Universal title on the line, a match that the Monster Among Men seemingly agreed to, though said he needs to take care of Bray Wyatt first. The Almighty recently failed to capture the WWE Championship in his first shot in 13 years, so perhaps a move to SmackDown and a shot at Strowman would work out better for the former ECW champion. Now, WWE recently had over 24 positive cases, and while each one is concerning, there's one in particular that reportedly has the company worried. While several stars and staff who tested positive have been quiet, one person who revealed what had happened is Jamie Noble, and now Fightful is reporting why the company is worried, especially over him. They said, "There was some concern among members of the roster after Jamie Noble noted that he tested positive, as Noble is very hands-on in his production. He's one of the people that physically repositioning people." It's also been reported that there's no heat on Noble, though given how physical he is, it's something WWE wish they knew sooner, and we continue to send our support to anyone dealing with the current situation. With so many superstars out of action due to the current situation, there's room for some older stars to return, and one person who clearly wants to come back is Booker T. Speaking with After the Bell, Booker made it clear he's willing to return if WWE need him, saying, "If they called me and said, 'Hey Book, one match,' you know what I mean? I'd be like, 'Baby, can you help me find my boots?'" Booker's last official WWE match took place at a Glasgow, Scotland house show in 2012, where he teamed with Drew McIntyre to defeat Christian and Mark Henry. And time will tell whether the current situation leads to the 5-time WCW champion competing again. Speaking of people you wouldn't expect to see compete, we all know that Charlie Caruso and Angel Garza have a thing going on Raw, and now it looks like Caruso is willing to fight for him. During Raw, the WWE on Fox account proposed that Caruso face Zelina Vega in a match that'd see Garza suspended over the ring in a shark cage, and Caruso seemed all for it, saying, "Just tell me when and where." Though she's in great shape and multi-talented, we're not aware of any prior wrestling training for Caruso, though it seems that won't stop her from fighting over Angel Garza. We're looking ahead to Summerslam next, as one person who won't be appearing on the show is Brock Lesnar. Recently, there's been reports that Lesnar's plans for the biggest party of the summer have been cancelled, but according to Ringside News, there never were any plans for the Beast at the pay-per-view in the first place. This is a rarity for the Beast, who has competed at every Summerslam since his return to WWE in 2012, and it'll be interesting to see how the company fares without the former Universal Champion. Since losing the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 36, Lesnar hasn't been seen on TV, and whilst we don't know just when exactly the Beast will be back, don't expect to see him until at least after SummerSlam. While Lesnar was never planned for the biggest party of the summer, there have been some changes to the show's planned card, including a very interesting match that fans won't see. According to Ringside News, there was a planned hair versus hair match between Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, where the loser would be forced to have her head shaved. Though this match would be memorable to say the least, it's now been confirmed that the concept never got past the planning phase before it was scrapped, and now neither member of Fire and Desire will be putting their hair on the line. Perhaps WWE will look at using this idea again down the line, and we can't help but wonder which woman would have had her head shaved if the match had gone ahead. We're focusing on NXT now, as the Gold brand lost one of its stars this year, though it's been hard to tell. According to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, Vanessa Bourne was called up from the Gold brand to the main roster, which explains her absence from NXT TV. It's also being reported that Bourne was called up in January or February this year, and it's not entirely clear why after half a year, she hasn't made her official main roster debut. In fact, Bourne's situation has been compared to Riddick Moss, who was promoted to the main roster not too long ago, but has done very little on the show. Given the current global situation as well as the recent backstage shifts in WWE, it's not hard to see why Bourne's call-up may have been forgotten behind the scenes, and time will tell whether she actually gets to debut. And we're ending today with news from Jeff Hardy, as the former world champion has spoken to The Bump to reveal what he wants to do next in his career. When asked about future opponents, Hardy mentioned Intercontinental Champion AJ Styles and noted that in his time in TNA, the Phenomenal One was one of his first opponents. He added, "My match with him was my first match back, and I remember being so nervous because he was so good." The Phenomenal One isn't the only one in Jeff's crosshairs, as he added, "I'd also like to face Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt as well. If The Fiend is around, I know there will be something special between me and him." This year, Wyatt has become synonymous with cinematic matches, though the argument has been made that Hardy is the pioneer of the style with the final deletion in Impact. At 42 years old, Jeff may not have too many more years left in the ring, but it seems like the former world champion already knows who he wants to face next after he's finished with Sheamus.